black. You're black.
Not for everybody.
You know, if you believe that, I'm not saying you're the dumbest person in the world, but you better hope the dumbest person in the world doesn't die.
She literally making millions of dollars. Her and Sonny hosted on this show, and this is the dumbest show on television. I just like talking about it because it's so asinine. But these are the two dumbest women in America, and they're making millions of dollars for talking on the show. I have another opportunity for you guys who God has called to do this. It's not for everybody. It's only for those who feel it in their heart that God is calling you to do more, calling you to help people in need. And House of Refuge is one of the organizations that we work with right here in Phoenix, Arizona. They are changing lives. I physically went to this organization. I toured the facility. You can see me there. I met a bunch of people there. And I'm going to show you the guy that I met that literally when he gave his testimony in the child hall, I literally teared up. I tried not to cry in front of everybody. All right, but they are doing tremendous work, especially for women who are single with children. I mean, they are just making things incredibly better. Brian's story was absolutely tremendous. Him coming off the street, being in the program, turning his life around, also giving back to the program once he had a successful journey. So you are helping people just like Brian and others have a life of purpose and get back on their feet. So essentially all it is 30 people. It costs about $1,000 a month to house an individual. We want to help 30 people, which equals $30,000. Now, you don't have to give $1,000. I'm going to give $1,000 to help at least one person. But you can give any amount, whether it's $10, $15, $20. Y'all know how we do it. When we all work together, we can accomplish incredible, incredible things. So make sure you hit the link in the description section. You will land on this page and go in and donate whatever God has put in your heart. So go to the link in the description section and let's support somebody today. Let's go to the Ver, where you got your girl Whoopi Goldberg talking out her, you know what, talking out her fanny pack. And this woman said the craziest thing in the world, and I'm going to quote it, and then I'm going to let her say it so you don't think that I just made this up. Black people in America have it just as bad as people in Iran. She should have to go live there for 30 minutes, and we'll see if she make it back. Roll the clip.
And it's slow.
But let's just remember too, the Iranians literally throw gay people off of buildings. They don't adhere to basic human rights.
Listen, here's the thing. Let's not do that, because if we start with that, we have been known in this country to tie gay folks to the car.
But where the Iranian regime is.
When has there been a law of the land that you can tie gay to a car? What you talking about? We have been known, somebody tied a gay person to a car, and that our country is known for that. What are you talking about? What are y'all talking about? There's not a law in place that you can openly kill gay people ever in the history of America. What are you talking about? Like, it's just, they just say things just I don't know, they get pressed and they just feel like they gotta vomit at the mouth and say the most outlandish things. Roll the clip.
They used to just keep hanging black people. So
it is not even the same. I couldn't step foot during this.
Hanging wasn't just black people. White people were also hung as well. Like lynching was a form of punishment. Now, over the course of history, it began to be more black people than white people. But if you look at the historical documentation, there's about 3,400 black people that were lynched, and there was about 1,200 white people that were lynched that we have on record. And at the beginning of lynching, it was mostly just white people, and then it rolled like this, and it was majority black. But lynching wasn't just a black thing. Roll the clip.
I mean to say, it is the same.
No, it's not. The year 2025 in the United States is nothing like if I step foot wearing this outfit into Toronto and killed for
I'm sorry.
Listen, I can't have my hair showing. I can't wear a skirt. I can't have my arms out.
I'm telling you,
I literally said it was up to the Iranian people.
Yes, it is up to them. And that's why I am saying that it is the same. Murdering someone for their difference is not good. Whoever does it, it's not good. So that's why I said you weren't saying what I heard was not what you meant.
I think it's very different to live in the United States in 2025 than it is to live in Iran.
Not if you're black.
Not for everybody.
Not if you're black.
Guys, don't go to Iran. Do not
Let me tell you about being in this country. This is the greatest country in the world. But, yeah, I know that. And we all know that. But every day, we are worried. Do we have to be worried about our kids? Are our kids going to get shot because they're running through somebody's neighborhood? They are not big deals, and I don't mean to say they're not big deals to you, because that's not what I meant.
And they are not doing well there either. They are not doing well in Iran. They are not educated. They cannot property. They cannot be States.
I'm talking about
nobody wants to diminish the very real problems we have in this country. That's no one's intent. But I think it's important we remember there are places much darker than this country, and people who deserve rights.
Not everybody feels that way. Not everybody feels that way. Listen, I'm sorry. You know, when you think about the fact that we got the vote in 1965,
okay, they don't have free and fair elections in Iran. It's not even the same universe.
Time out. You know, one thing that I think that historically these dumb people try to do is that they forget to involve all of history. There was a point in time in this country where if you own land, you could vote. If you did not own land, you could not vote. There was a lot of black people that did vote when white people couldn't vote. They then discriminated against black people and gave them the right to vote back. But there was a large portion of the existence of voting in this country that black people could vote in when it was just about property ownership. It's just like they act like black people wasn't involved in society and didn't have any say or any kind of, I don't know, like we were under the white man thumb until like the 60s. That's the most asinine thing that I've ever heard in my life. We created universities. We had theaters, bus lines, schools. I mean, inventions. Black people were millionaires in the 1800s. Black people were very prominent. Black people had enough money back in the day to own slaves. Black people owned slaves too. Just not at the level that white people did, but black people did own slaves. Hundreds of black people owned slaves in the South. What are we saying? Like I think it's a conflation of reality versus perceived reality. The first legal slave owner in American history was a black man that he actually sued to own two black people who were indentured servants, Michael Johnson, and those black people became enslaved to him for life. That was the first legal slave ownership in American history. And it perpetuated from there. If you had money, you had status, you owned slaves, you had access to do just about anything. How is there that black people own slaves in the South that black people were just so under the thumb of the white man? How do you own slaves? Harriet Tubman's husband was a free black man. How does that free black man get married to Harriet Tubman and they live together? How is that even humanly possible if black people just didn't have no rights? What, they were just slaves and couldn't do nothing in America until 1967 or 1964. What are we talking about? We talk about Booker T. Washington, Frederick Douglass. You go be George Washington Carver, one of the greatest scientists to ever live, one of the greatest inventors to ever live. I think he invented more stuff than anybody ever in the history of this country. There's so many black people, and this is in the 1800s, early 1900s. Madam C.J. Walker, the first millionaire out of any woman to live. She was a millionaire before any white woman. She died in the early 1900s. What are we talking about here? Yeah, there was negative things that happened to black people in America. Yes, some black people in the South had to go through Jim Crow. I mean, say some were affected more than others. It wasn't that black people didn't have opportunities in America. Some things were not fair. Some things was not equitable. But it wasn't that black people didn't have anything. The Harlem Renaissance, Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that was in the 1920s. What are we talking about? Like, Whoopi and them are living in another world. Anyway, road clip.
They can't go out of their house. Women.
You know what? There's no way I can make you understand.
Let me try something. It's like try to reverse roles with a black person in this country, let's say, because I think that's what you're talking about.
Yes.
Just try to understand from their point of view. From that point of view, this country does not do them well. Does not go.
I completely understand.
Come on, Whoopi. Whoopi is a multi-millionaire for talking stupid like this on TV. She literally making millions of dollars. Her and Sonny hosted on this show, and this is the dumbest show on television. I just like talking about it because it's so asinine. But these are the two dumbest women in America, and they're making millions of dollars to talk on the show. How is America bad for black people? I don't understand. I would say a large portion of our military are black. I mean, what are we saying here? Do some black people experience discrimination? Yes. But by and large, black people have the rights and ability to do anything that a white person can do. The problem is black people are not applying themselves. Black people who are millionaires are stupid like this. If you growing up in America and you think America is not good for us, we don't have the same opportunity, then that's what your life experience is going to be. But black people who are smart are killing it in America. These people who come from other countries in Africa come to America and live the American dream. And they're very prosperous and educated. That's because America is fruitful for those who want to plant seeds that will bear fruit. If you running around with your pants sagging and thugging all day and doing this and throwing up gang signs, I'm with the 5 new Hoovers rolling 60s, your life expectancy and your life in America and your American dream is not going to last long. If you run around every day, you think every white person that you talk to is the enemy, there's opportunities missed. To be honest, the white people do more for black people than black people do for black people. Let's keep it 100. Go look at any successful black man. How did they get to that point? It was a rich, successful white man who gave them an opportunity, helped them with an opportunity, mentored them. You can't name a situation that didn't occur like that. I don't know of any. White people in America have simultaneously, as they talk about the ones who were bad to black people, have simultaneously been the savior for black people in America, outside of Christ. You know what I'm saying? Because while you had whites who owned slaves, which were not a lot of white people in the South, you had to have money and status to own a slave. So it was, some studies say 2% of white people own slaves in the South. So it's not a lot of slave ownership going on anyway. But for those who own slaves that thought black people weren't human, there's the same amount or more white people who helped Harriet Tubman free the slaves, who never owned slaves, who never advocated for slavery. A matter of fact, we had a whole bunch of white people in the North fight white people in the South and abolish slavery. Where do you think slaves escaped to? They either was in the South, free, or they went to the North. White people that supported black people existed in perpetuity throughout that entire time. What are we saying? Finish the clip. Is that the end of the clip?
If you're talking about Iran, of course, is doing worse things, but relatively speaking, it feels bad.
Okay, but I think you know that Iran is significantly
I guess we're going to come back and talk. We're going to come back and talk more about this.
And I know.
All right, let's just go through it real quick. I forgot I have to go. I don't know. I got a meeting at 2, somewhere about 30 minutes away. I totally forgot. I actually have a meeting right now with somebody, but Let's go to Iran real quick, just in case you didn't know. All right, we know what's going on in America if you got a connected brainstem, but there's no real democracy ruled by a supreme leader, Islamic law. You can forget about free speech. You criticize the government, you can go to jail. They can kill you. LGBTQ persecution. If you're homosexual, it's illegal in Iran and it's punishable by death, not by jail. It's punishable by death. Women are oppressed. They're forced to wear the hijab and they're beaten for disobedience. No due process. Protesters are jailed, tortured, and executed. Internet censorship. There's no access to free media. Platforms are banned. Civil rights, you can forget about it. How is that close to anything that happens in America? The View should lose their rights to be on TV immediately.
There you have it. I feel like this day and culture, people don't really want to get the actual truth about what's going on or anything like that. Because if they knew the truth, what was taught in the history books would not be right there. As you see it, there's a lot more going on than what's going on in the air. But for Oprah, for Whoopi, I said, everything with Oprah say that Iran is banned in America, send her ass over, send her, Joy, and Sonny over there for about 3 days and see how far they can make it along. They'll be begging to come back to the United States of America. Or they get killed because they run their mouth over there because they think they're better than everybody. It just so to show you that these people do not know a damn thing about shit at all.
These people need to
Have a
be held
nice day.
accountable.